What's up, guys? It's Chris. Last week, I had the pleasure of sitting down with a good buddy of mine by the name of Spencer Marzouk. He is the CEO of a multi-million-dollar SaaS company that is helping organizations across the world rethink how they approach loss prevention. We released a 42-minute episode on YouTube. If you haven't watched it, please go check it out. But if you don't have the 42 minutes, I'm going to break down my 5 main takeaways here for you right now. Number 1, focus on who, not what. We always focus on what we're going to be doing. What's my title? What's the company I'm working for? What's the brand? Spencer proposes that maybe that's the wrong idea. Instead of focusing on what we're doing, focus on who you're going to be doing it with. Who's going to be leading me? Who am I going to learn from? Who is going to continue to push me to be better 1% every single day? Number 2, you can't always control your circumstances, but you can definitely control how you respond. Life is going to throw you curveballs. It's going to kick you in the teeth. It's not about what happens, it's about how you respond that defines people. For Spencer, he went through some pretty heavy things early in his life. He lost his mother to a long battle with cancer. A year later, he lost one of his best friends as a passenger in a drunk driving accident. 2 experiences that, let's be honest, probably are going to break a lot of people. But for him, he chose to get back up, dust himself back off, and apply that situation and experience to everything else that he did later on in his life. You can't control your circumstances, but you can control how you respond. Number 3, growth fuels happiness. First, let's level set on something. Growth never happens within your comfort zone. It's about getting outside of those walls of comfort and continuing to push your boundaries. Learn, stretch, grow. And it's not in these big milestones or these big accomplishments. It's in the small inputs that you control every single day. A new action, a new habit. Control those things, your inputs. Your inputs will naturally drive outputs, and those outputs over time will compound into outcomes. Focus on the small things. Growth equals happiness. Number 4, you never know who's watching. For Spencer, that meant that he was down in Lowndes County, Alabama, one of the poorest counties in America at the time. And he was just trying to create an exposure experience for his students. He, on a whim, sent an email to an executive at Disney. Her name is Mara Hayes. At the time, she led the Times Square studio in New York City. And fast forward, long story short, she loved what Spencer was doing so much that she introduced him to a gentleman by the name of Rick Goings, who was the chairman of the Boys and Girls Club of America, and at the time, the CEO of the Tupperware Brands Corporation. Fast forward, Spencer gets a job learning directly from Rick, moves to Germany, helps develop the Tupperware strategy globally, an experience that completely changes his life. You never know who's watching. And number 5, greatness lives in the details. Spencer learned this at a very young age. He had an experience where he got to go actually meet Muhammad Ali at his home in Berrien Springs, Michigan. Muhammad and Spencer's father formed a really tight relationship as Muhammad would fly in and out of the South Bend airport. Muhammad invited Spencer's family over to the house, once the house of Al Capone. And as they were leaving, they sat down and Muhammad was signing autographs for every single person. And this is the time where Muhammad had Parkinson's. It was very noticeable. And so as he was signing autographs, if he messed up at all, he would crumple it up, throw it out, and start over. And this is the greatest boxer of all time that we're talking about. So attention to detail wasn't just something that he cared about as he was training and inside the ring. Greatness was something that he carried along with him in every facet of his life, down to signing an autograph for a couple kids and their family in his home. So if the champ cares about details, maybe we should too. Those are the top 5 takeaways from my conversation with Spencer Marzouk. If you want to, please go check out the full pod on YouTube. I'll link it down below. But if you can't, hopefully you take 1 or 2 things away from this and you immediately apply it to your life. After all, growth equals happiness, right? For now, I'm Chris. This is Differentiated. We'll see you next time.